Hey guys, my name is Brianna Marcotte. I'm going to show you how to use the Adobe program Lightroom. We're going to start by importing some images. Here we're in the library homepage. We're going to go up here, import photos and video. Brings us to a separate screen. Here we have where we can find there are different types of folders. You can do the desktop, you can have an external hard drive. I have my hard drive hooked up. So the first thing we're going to do is deselect all of these images. I'm not going to upload this entire folder, so I'm going to select uncheck all, and I'm just going to go here and select an image. Let's see, these are all my pets if you haven't already noticed. So I'm going to select, let's do this one down here of Harvard, my cat, my black cat. So I selected this one. I'm going to go down here and select import. So we're still under the library homepage, which is important to remember. If you do something like batch editing, where you upload hundreds of photos at a time, you can flag certain images you want to edit, which is kind of like what we just did, where we selected a certain image versus a bunch of images. But we're not going to get too much into the organizational process. So once we have our image that we've uploaded here to Lightroom, we're going to now go over to the develop section of Lightroom. It's going to carry our photo over. I'm going to select it so that it fills the screen. So here it has it as a fitted image to our develop page. Over here we have an icon view, which can preview different presets like we have here. As you can see, the icon changes, but our main image does not. And this is kind of just like a preview before applying the preset. So I'm not going to do any presets, that'd be too easy, but if you wanted to, Lightroom has plenty of presets you can choose from. I've uploaded some and created my own. Great tool to use if you want to do quick editing. But we're going to use this section over here. As you can see, this is kind of more of a fine-tune editing bay that we can use, and there's tools like exposure and contrast that are very important. And so here our image is a little dark, so I'm going to use the exposure tool. I'm going to bump this up a little bit so we can see his pretty little eyes a little bit better. I'm going to bump up some shadow, bring in a little white because he's got some white here that's a little too dark. I'm going to leave the black, majority of the photo is black. Maybe a little contrast to keep the colors true. As we can see here, it kind of pops the eyes a little bit. So these are your general tools. I'm going to leave our temperature and our tint the same. But another way you can do this, for example, is white balance. Is you can select the eyedropper tool and select a part of the image that is all black or all white. However, our image here doesn't have either of those options, but my camera setting did, so my white balance here is considered a shot. I'm going to scroll down here and kind of show you some other tools that are important to know. Sharpening and noise reduction. A lot of times people will upload their images and later find out that their image is blurry or not particularly in focus on a part they want to, and this would be where you would adjust that. I'm going to add a little bit of luminance to kind of soften him up a little bit. And then the last tool I'm going to show you, which I find very important, is our radius tool. It's kind of our, it's kind of an area effect editor per se. And so what I'm going to do is it brings up this here. I'm going to go over here and draw a circle over his eye, or about the size of his eye. And then I'm going to go ahead and drag it over his eye. I want his eyes to pop, so this is what we're going to work on. So now it's going to select this. I'm going to zero out all of these options so we kind of have a blank slate to work with. Alright, so I'm going to boost up the temperature just a little bit to kind of get it to pop. I'm going to give it a little tiny bit of exposure so that we want the eye trace to hit his eyes first, since they are kind of the first thing we look at in this image. I'm going to go down here and give it some highlights. And the cool thing about this particular editing tool is that you can add your own color if you want different effects. You can really blow it out if there's something that you want to brighten. You can desaturate different things. It's really a great tool. I'm going to boost this temp just a little bit to really get his eye to pop. I'm going to pull in just a little bit of a black so that his pupil stays black. And maybe just a little white to brighten it all together. So once I'm done, I'm going to deselect the radial tool. And as you can see, his eye here pops just a bit more than this side here. So you can tell the difference between the two eyes. And I really like how this turned out versus this side, which is a little too dark, a little too green. His true eye color is this yellowish green, more so than this other green here. So that's the very basic overview of Lightroom. Thanks for watching.